So what is being done to change that, if anything?
Well, that's why you have bodies like ourselves. You've got the Black Business Council, you've got various civil and pressure groups lobbying government and saying we should do more as a South African people to ensure that transformation takes place. And currently you have the BE codes. And now these codes has historically not had sufficient emphasis on ownership but on other spend. Now, when you have the codes as it was practiced in the past, people basically buy themselves the right to practice and the right to a good scoring. So we are saying ownership should be the imperative.
Okay, something that's also come up quite a bit is the age of the average estate agent and how this links to what you are currently saying. What is the average age of an estate agent?
Average age is 58.
That's
Now,
not young.
58. Now, if you have any industry that is controlled by 58-year-olds, there's no new ideas coming in, there's very little transformation coming in. You have 85% at least of that people being white. So what it in effect means is that there is no growth, there's no room for growth, and the industry is now controlled by the Estate Agency Affairs Board, and they have now tried certain interventions to try and get estate agents to sort of say one estate agent, one pupil, where they adopt and say, can we open up this industry to younger people? I've got this terminology said, it's time that we make this industry more sexy, more relevant for young people. Because what it means to me is that the old guard is controlling and manipulating the process, and they're not allowing new entrants to come in.
Okay, but what does that mean to the average South African consumer and the average property buyer?
You have, in South Africa, you've got about 6 million residential homes or households. Now, when you look at that, 3.5 million of them are deemed to be in the affordable space. Now, when we speak about the affordable space, we're speaking about primarily black people. So even that market should be the catalyst where we can see how can we nurture younger and a more diverse group of estate agents into the market, and so that people can be serviced in terms of consumer by people in their own mother tongue. People can be serviced by people from their own areas, people they feel comfortable with.
Do you find that there is buy-in from the current estate agencies, from the current guard into the new transformation process?
I spoke 2 weeks ago at the roadshows for the Estate Agency Affairs Board, and I spoke about compliance, etc. And the audience there, it was held at Bantry Bay, so the audience was at least 95% white. And the type of questions they asked is one of holding, keeping out. One of it's protectionist. It's a questions of why the Estate Agents Board, why must they open up, and it's so there is some resistance, but because of the money in the industry, it's understandable that people would not want to lose that control over it. So there is resistance here.
Do you find that there is interest into the estate agency market? Is there interest? It doesn't help that we're pushing for transformation, but we don't have people who are interested in entering the market. Is there interest from people, from younger people wanting to enter the estate agency market?
Earlier this year, the Western Cape government of Human Settlements, they had a intervention for unregistered agents at the Good Hope Centre. I was also fortunate enough to speak there, and at that stage we had about, if we had 1,000 people in the room, we had 60 to 70% which was non-white, and so there's sufficient interest. However, the stats would clearly indicate that you have at least a 80% fall off within the first three years.
Why?
The market is penetrable. It is difficult market. You need to find a principal who's willing to teach you. Now, if I can equate that to the legal field, you have an attorney who becomes a principal, who takes on a young qualified person for articles, and he teaches them over 2 years. He pays them a salary. You don't find that willingness in the property industry, where a firm is able to say, I will take on young, black, dynamic people, and I will teach them over a period of 2 to 3 years at a stipend.
So the problem comes in that there's not enough being put into training and mentoring those who, at the end of the day, are capable of becoming very good estate agents.
I believe that the bigger firms can do more. They can employ people, because what these people are doing is they are still working on a commission basis. So if they're unable to sell, they're not going to be able to make money, and all the money that they receive is sort of in advance. It will be deducted from their commissions in the future. And it's very difficult. They have to make contributions towards telephone, etc. But I do believe that the Estate Agency Affairs Board, they are looking at certain interventions which would enhance and ensure that in the future that it will be more accessible for young people.